Well, they kind of had that. Remember, when you had the Ultimate Fighter, they'd be in that house, and it was always so insane to me that they had like an open bar in that house. There was just bottles of liquor and beer, and I'm sure if you were like, I only drink Coors Light, they'd have been like, well, here's a case. I think they were fueling the reality show with alcohol as much as they were, fist fights in the ring. And some of those guys, I can't remember who it was, the guy who's like, let me bang, bro, let me bang. Like, there were several drunken meltdowns on that show where guys were under a lot of stress and had substance abuse problems and were in a house full of bullies.
Exactly. And on top of that, they intentionally deprived them of things that might make them like settle down. Like, they couldn't read books, they couldn't surf the internet, they didn't have phones. They just put them in there and made it as much of a powder keg as possible. Boredom and alcohol. Go. Oh, and fighters. And it was pretty great. It had a good run. I don't know. I don't think the Ultimate Fighter's still on.
And then somebody would like snap and like hit somebody, and Dana White would be like, I can't believe you. Like, what are you, some kind of 22-year-old drunk mixed martial arts fighter in a house? Actually,
super physiological testosterone levels.
Actually, this all checks out. Sorry, I busted in on you guys. Whoop his ass again. I'll see y'all later. Like that's what he should do. It's like, what do you expect them to be doing in this house? I haven't liked reality shows in so long, like the real reality on television. I can't remember the last one that I like enjoyed. I remember I watched one of those survival shows where they put 2 or 3 teams, I can't remember, in Alaska to survive. And it seemed really poorly thought out because they allowed this sort of loophole where you could Frank Hassle the other team, and they didn't really have any recourse. And so these boss bitches just went and picked on this guy who was all by himself and stole all of his stuff. And then he's like having to guard his stuff. He has to sit on it or they'll steal it. And they're like, there's more of us. We'll just wait till you have to go get food.
Like, it gets down to 0 degrees at night. You can't steal my sleeping bag. I'll die.
They took his sleeping bag.
No, they'll quit.
Life Below Zero is probably, that's the one that I've probably watched last.
Yeah, I hated that. I hated that so much. It made no sense. It had nothing to do with Survivor.
I would give Survivor another chance. Modern day Survivor is a manipulation strategy game that was so much better than I expected it to be. And I think it's all pretty true, that, or I'm a sucker, that could be possible. And I often watch these shows, insert myself into my imagination as like I'd be good at it. No, man. These guys are way better at Survivor than I could be on my best day. They're very clever. They're experienced. They've watched all 37 seasons. It's something really high like that. And I'm just blown away by watching their strategy and how they play and manipulate. Like, some people lie all the time. Some people tell the truth all the time. But most of the people try to tell the truth as much as possible and not get caught in their lies, which turns out to be a lousy strategy. Like, if you're a snake and you present as a snake, then I know what I'm dealing with. But if you're a snake and you present as a sheep, then we have a problem. Now I need to get rid of you. You're not what you said.
Yeah, you can't be trusted.
I feel like the social part of Survivor is the part I'm less worried about getting eliminated because of.
Really?
It'd be more like
challenges.
Yeah, like just like I've seen enough Survivor. I haven't seen a ton, but it's like tons of people make it to the middle of the pack and later just by not putting a target on their own back, not being like obstinate or arrogant or, because there's always going to be a ton of people who are like putting targets.
You would be really good at some of the physical tasks, right? Like, some shit is like, hey, we've got 7 rocks. We have to hold them above your head. I'd give you 2. I'd take 1. We do well. Right? Like that's so you're useful for that, but that might get you voted off. Are you a hero in a challenge? Well, you sound dangerous. You need to go. And it, like you said, the tallest flower gets plucked. But the worst one, you don't want to be a non-growing. You don't want to be a total person who causes your team to lose every challenge either. You don't want to be the anchor. The anchor in a way that holds you down, not like
you want to be like a median competitor,
which is hard to be. And every time someone becomes like the head of the snake, like, all right, look at this, I have an alliance of 5 people and I'm kind of running this show. then the person who's the 5th highest on your alliance will turn on you, and now you lose. And Survivor is so much better than I expected it to be. I should watch a new season.
You know what would take off and be the biggest reality show on TV? Fear Factor. If Joe Rogan came back and did Fear Factor, and they would have to call it that too. Joe Rogan's Fear Factor.
Yeah, they would.
I'd be like, yo, put my fucking name in it. They need to know.
Have you heard those clips of him from probably years ago at this point on his podcast talking about it?
Oh yeah.
Where he'd be like, he has some comedian on. He's like, yeah, dude. And then there was this whole bit where like they had to drink like donkey cum or horse piss. And I'm watching these people like, you guys are fucking disgusting. Like, this is only 50 grand and you're drinking horse cum on television. Like, yeah, I was grossed out. I almost vomited.
I put myself on that show imaginarily. The eating contests are the ones that bored. I think I could endure the bugs crawling on me. A lot of them were like drown based, and I would be very strong there even today.
Oh yeah.
I don't have the fear of water that those people seem to. But the food
about heights?
I'm fine.
They always put a rope on you anyway.
Woody laughed at heights. He loves
an acrobatic paramotor pilot. Like, I think, not that I'm not scared, but I would push through it.
Skydive.
I was going to say, like, I'm still scared, but I do it.
They put a whole harness on you, and they have, I don't know what they call it, but they've got one of those lines that's got tension on it, so you just slowly fall to the ground if you fall. Like the heights never scared me. A bull riding episode was ridiculous because they just got on a fucking bull and did it.
Tried.
And it fucked, it's throwing them, and it's little girls and men, and that's the most dangerous sport in the world, right? Like, I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, per capita, it has to be. It's a bull.
Crazy that. But
would you try if you were on the show? Like, I think.
Yeah.
You don't have to win.
Have you you've seen their bull riding episodes? Those guys aren't wearing cowboy hats and spurs like the professional bull riders. They're wearing like a crash dummy suit.
They got a vest. They've got a bull riding vest.
They have that thing on that keeps their neck rigid that goes down to like here.
I don't want to put my teeth on the back of a bull's skull. Like, I feel like that's a good way to lose your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good way to lose your nose. Yeah, that thing is gonna.
Wouldn't you be tempted though? Like, you doing the bull riding episode, and all the other guys are putting on the full suit, and then you're thinking about Grandpa's going to see this. What would Grandpa want? And you like put that cowboy hat on, you just slide on to a raw dog.
Send
big
it.
old buckle.
Send it.
Immediately die. Or just the best case scenario is I'm thrown off at 2 seconds, awarded no points, and I'm not injured. That's the best possible scenario.
No, you got to play some country music in your head to believe. It should have been a cowboy.
I was, when you said play country music in your head, my instinct was that little ditty from Deliverance. I would also have been ready.
I thought that was super dangerous. They made them eat these cave spiders, and these cave spiders have like pinchers, and they're very pokey. Like they have like pokey pinchers, so that like their predators don't want to eat them. They almost look like a spider with thorns at its angles, like where its legs make bends. There's like thorns growing off. And so they had to eat those alive, and they're fighting to not be eaten so much that the people's mouths are bleeding. Like it's fighting so much to not be eaten alive that it's cutting them, and they have to eat like multiple of these. It may have I think maybe they did some bullshit, like they rolled dice, and whatever you rolled was how many fucking cave spiders you had to eat. And it's like, all right, 5 it is. Holy shit, eat 5 cave spiders. That I remember thinking, I don't think I can do that. And maybe if I like could smush it up first and like make a paste of it and eat that, like then it's just grossness.
There was one that went like this. So the contestant had to lay in a bathtub filled with leeches, and their teammates had to use their mouth to remove the leeches from the contestant. But a leech got in the contestant's mouth, who like coughed it up and spat it out. But the leech had done its thing, and now there's like all this blood coming out with the leech because it was on the inside of their mouth, their throat, or something. There's some rough contests.
It's disgusting. Like I agree with you that I would rather do a physical challenge, a scary challenge. What would actually intimidate me on a show like that is like, all right, it's the roach bowl clear up, like time to eat. Like I would be the worst girl at giving head. I have such a bitch gag reflex. Like if I can see
You don't
someone
give yourself enough credit, Taylor. You were fine.
oh, next time I'll show you my improvements. But yeah, that's evil.
Wow, that thing's pokey.
That's demonic. It's a demon spider.
It's soft shell crab.
Like I feel like I want to gag.
Oh shit!
Like
but
if
Taylor, looking at it through the crab lens, maybe this is where your shine.
No, because we're not cracking it open and eating the succulent, delicious crab meat.
There's no rules.
That's a bug. That's a bug, and it's going to tear my mouth up. Crabs are not bugs; they're crustaceans.
They're sea bugs. Crustaceans are bugs.
No, they're not.
I mean, not literally, but they're very much the insects of the sea.
Okay, but they're not bugs. They're tasty. They're delicious. They're wonderful.
Bugs could be tasty and delicious. I don't
No,
know
they
where you're going there.
cannot. Fuck off. Nobody's eating tasty bugs.
Are spiders bugs?
So
I mean, in this conversation,
Wait.
I guess.
Okay, are caterpillars bugs?
Okay, so it
butterflies?
depends on
All these little things in the context of this conversation. All these little creepy crawlies are bugs.
Okay, so they're all arthropods, much like crustaceans. Bugs.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what do people call crawfish?
Crawdads.
Mud bugs.
Sorry, I just had to
that's racist.
say something stupid. A mud bug. I never heard mud bugs.
Yeah.
It was always
Really?
Crustaceans are related
crawdads or
to those
crayfish.
things: butterflies, caterpillars, etc.
Regardless, if it was a crab eating competition, I would.
Oh my god!
It could be the rest of the survival island versus me, and it would be a fight. It'd be brutal.
Man, next time I cross the Mississippi, I have to stop over and just take Taylor to dinner. I want to witness this spectacle.
Bring some money.
I know what I'm signing up for.
He gets at a 2-piece crab cracker and screws it together.
Right, like a pool player with his own stick.
Oh yeah.
he's got his own bib he puts on, his monogram.
I told you I went to like my friend's crab boil.
His bib says "Death before dishonor."
Death before dishonor. I have a bib and it has that like Roman like SPQR thing on it. That's how serious I take it. Like I'm a warrior. When I went to my friend's big crab boil like a year or so ago, and it wasn't snow crab. Snow crab is 100% always my choice crab if I have the option. It was blue crab, and those are the small ones that you have to like. A lot of the meat is in the body itself, and so you have to break
freshwater.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought they were like. I thought he's got them from. But I don't know. Regardless,
It could be brackish.
He bought it. Like he bought so many of these fucking things, and no one at that party had any stick-to-itiveness in the crab game other than me. And so like everybody else got like 2 of them and like kind of picked at it and was like, this is too much work. I, like a scientist, Socratically figured out the most efficient way to break it over the course of my first 2. And then once I had it down pat, I must have eaten 10 more because no one else was eating them. And so like, it was like 40 minutes into my girlfriend, my friend, their wives and girlfriends, like all them chatting, watching the Mizzou game at the time. And I'm like at the bar table overlooking it, just still feasting. Because in my head, I'm like, when's the next time you're guaranteed to get crab? You don't know. And so let's
and
you're
so
like
let's
opt in.
This is the mindset of like a puma gorging on a rotten deer or something.
100%. I don't know when the next time I'm going to get it. My friend's like, do you want a beer? I'm like, I won't waste the stomach space. You can buy beer anywhere. You can't get crab anywhere.
Yes, you
Think about
can.
that.
You can order it off the internet. It's
I'm
everywhere.
in Missouri. We don't. Well, yeah, you can do the internet thing, but it's real expensive to get it shipped here.
It's so expensive.
And it was delicious blue crab because he paid a fuck ton of money to have an inordinate amount of them shipped to his house overnight on ice, and then we ate them. It was great. Still, distant second
I've
to
got
snow
king crab legs. I've ordered king crab legs off the internet before. They're enormous. That's what I like about them. I like these huge hunks of meat. And
they're not a good Kraken crab. You need tools to get those out. With a snow crab, you can do all hands.
I just remember I got them and I cooked them.
Well, you can. I'm sorry.
I just remember the girl I was with was like, I don't eat seafood. And I was like, I've cooked 4 pounds of crab legs here. Like, what do you mean you don't eat seafood? He's like, ooh, those are so big. Those are gross. And I'm like, are you kidding? You're going to
fucking
a lot of crab to eat.
Bitch. Dude, I'm so good at crab cracking. I could bamboozle you with movements and then pull a big piece of leg out from behind your ear. Oh, in the butter.
Dude, Taylor, in my imaginary dinner, I want you to do that.
I would. If we ever do an IRL PKA or something, it's a guarantee.
Crab.
We're doing it at a seafood restaurant. And like other people in my life, you're going to go into it with this feeling of like, because I'm known for this in my friend group and you know, word passes. And you're going to sit there and be like, I can't wait to see Taylor eat crab. It's not going to be until like 2 hours into the meal that it really sets in, like how gross what you're watching is, the level of gluttony, the pile, the ever increasing pile of shells,
you're
the shrapnel.
With 2 hours though, right?
I will eat and eat and eat. Yeah, I'll sit there for 2 hours and eat crab. 100%.
Yeah. So like our family reunions, that's what we would eat, blue crab. So like I was from Florida, and so like the St. Johns River there is where we get a lot of the blue crab from. And no shit, family reunions, we'd probably be boiling 10 pots of them. We'd take 7 picnic tables and run them parallel, families all on the side, and you just dump the pots onto the table, and everybody's just cracking and fucking throwing, cracking and throwing.
This is a family reunion?
And, yeah.
That's fun. So are you pretty quick?
Reunion?
What's that?
How many people attend to your family reunion? It sounds like a huge affair.
It was probably 30 or 40 people back when I was a kid. Now really nobody. But it was blue crab, and it's the move, and it's so easy to clean.
That reminds me of it was the Wicked Witch in Wizard of Oz that got permanent skin, or maybe not permanent, but super long term skin discoloration because they used like some weird oil-based dye,
maybe lead-based,
or they used a dye instead of a paint, and so they literally dyed her. Yeah, that Wicked Witch lady, she got all fucked up from all that green dye. Like it turned her green.
Years. Yeah, you know, she was. I think this is true. It might be an urban legend. She did an episode of Sesame Street back in the day, and I think they might have taken it down because she was too scary for the kids.
Oh, maybe that's still green.
Maybe she was on there just to show that she wasn't scary or something like that, but she wasn't still green by that time.
Oh,
the Wizard, because this is like color TV. This is the 80s. But I remember the scene where they're in the poppy field and the snow starts falling. That's all asbestos. That's all asbestos. Seriously, it's all asbestos. They had Dorothy, the actress, on pep pills. And I think they were wrapping her breasts and trying to make her skinnier and more girlish. And so they had her on amphetamines, and she was addicted to those for life.
So I have a thing. I looked it up. Her face stayed green for weeks because of copper-based ingredients, and it was toxic. So she had to survive on a liquid diet so that she didn't accidentally eat the dye on her face.
Oh, man, that's Hollywood's moral now.
Yeah.
yes.
Who is that? Didn't some I feel like Kyle, you told me this, or you showed me this. There's a clip of some movie from a few decades ago where a helicopter falls out of the sky and like chops
Twilight Zone movie. It's a Twilight Zone movie.
Guy and some little kid up.
Couple of kids got chopped up. Yeah, they were doing nighttime filming with a low hovering helicopter, and the shot is a man with 2 small children, and they're sort of running. And I think they might be in like shin deep water, and the chopper goes down and it chops them all up. Yeah.
Jesus.
Brutal. And it probably wasn't even a good movie.
That was a good movie. I like those. I love horror anthology. It's one of my favorite genres, even the bad ones.
Anthology is a difficult horror thing because you have to know you're in it for the long haul. Like
you get a bookend, you get the opening act and the bookend that tie everything together, and you get 3 or 4 ghoulish tales in the middle. You know, some guy wants to like be extra muscular, so he takes the fucking drugs, but they also make him like, I don't know, like his bones dissolve, or they make him gay or something. It's always something like that, like a devil's deal.
This explains